Smile. Okay.
There we go. Okay. This meeting is being recorded. Got it. Okay, there we go. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you everyone for coming. I'm so happy to see all the faces I see. And thank you to my wonderful mom, Deb Shell, who's gonna come on and help us learn about Hanukkah and celebrate the first night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, she said.
Oh, she said. So Mom, did you I know you were talking a little bit before I got on, but you want to talk a little bit about the traditions and stuff, and then we read the story. You want to do it that way?
Right. So just the Hebrew word Hanukkah means dedication. So this holiday is commemorating the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. It's very historic, like most holidays are. And it's a similar holiday in some ways to Passover because it celebrates the freedom from oppression. And every in the diaspora, where the Jews were dispersed through the world, and especially in Europe, Northern Europe, where our ancestors come from, we're Ashkenazi Jews. So we have certain traditions that might be a little bit different than the Sephardic Jews who came up from Palestine through Morocco and Spain. So they have slightly different traditions. And on Hanukkah, we eat foods that are fried in oil. We're going to talk about this in the story, but and it commemorates a great event that occurred that the story is going to tell for us. We also play some games. We have these little spinning tops that are called Dreidels, and we play this game. This is an interesting tradition because it has nothing to do with Hanukkah. It's not really, although it got sort of co-opted and put into Hanukkah. But the letters are Hebrew letters that mean a great miracle happened here or there. And in Israel, the letters are a little different, and they mean a great miracle happened here. So we celebrate that a little bit differently. The reason that the dreidel is an interesting top, a long time ago when Jews were persecuted and they were not allowed to study the Torah, they would do it in secret. They would study the Torah in secret, and then if the authorities came who were not happy that they were going to be studying the Torah, they weren't allowed to, they would take out their dreidels and just start playing and act like they were just playing a game.
Oh,
So it's a little bit of a tool of deception, which sometimes we use in order to stay alive. So, okay. We'll talk a bit. Yeah, I think Meg can read the story because a lot of the traditions are described in that. So take it away, Maisie.
Okay. Would you like to have alternate pages and have me read one page and you read the other page? Do you want to do it that way? Okay. How about we put this book aside? Okay.
I was gonna read, I know in old language, swallow the Dreidels.
I know.
But no.
We're going to do this one because this one talks more about the tradition of Hanukkah. Okay. So this book is called By the Hanukkah Light. And Halcyon, I think this is from the church library.
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Did I take the first page?
Sure. I'm going to hold up the first picture just so people can see the picture. Oh, like the grandfather hugging the little girl. Okay.
Rachel loves Hanukkah at her grandparents' house. Oh.
You can use your outside voice if you want.
Yeah.
Level 4.
Oh, I thought I could shout.
No, just talk loud. Continue reading.
Rachel loves Hanukkah at grandpa's. No, at her grandpa's. At her grandparents' house. She loves grandma's and grandpa's soft hugs and kisses and the smell of potato pancakes kitchen and the sweet taste of applesauce spoon in the jar. She loves helping Grandma clean.
We can say menorah instead of this because it's a different. You say
No.
menorah every time you see this word. Say menorah.
All right. Grandma cleaned menorah, a silver candle holder shaped like a tree. A tree guarded by a line that stands at the roots. The root holds the tree trunk, a thick, knotted tree trunk. The tree trunk holds 9 branches, 9 heavy branches. The branches hold nests, 9 little nests. The nests are for candles, 9 colored candles. And the candles are for lighting on each night upon. That's complicated.
Okay. Now I'm going to hold it up for the next picture. Okay, so here she is with the menorah. Rachel, I'm going to read this page. I'm going to read this page.
All right.
Rachel spreads newspaper under the menorah. Grandpa dabs silver cleaner on 2 strips of cloth. What part should we clean first? Grandpa asks Rachel. The roots or the line, the trunk or the branches, or maybe the 9 little nests? Rachel answers, we always start at the roots. We finish at the nests. That's what we do every year. Grandpa smiles and he says, that's the best way to go. We start at the bottom and work up to the top. They rub and they polish till all of it shines. It's like a tree made of moonlight, Rachel whispers to Grandpa. He nods and tells her, the menorah is ready. Now we can celebrate Hanukkah. And I'm gonna hold up so they can see the picture. Okay. So here's the whole family gathered around the menorah. Rachel and her grandparents and her parents and her brother is in this one too.
So Grandpa and Rachel call family. Grandpa turns off the lights all through the house. It sounds like the Christmas story.
Well, there's a lot of similarities between holidays around this time of year. That's true. With candles and things.
Is it like all through the house?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's continue reading.
Take a place. Shamish. What is?
Well, sometimes it's written Shamish, and some people say
Shamish.
Shamish. So you could say it either way.
Jacob listened to Shamish candle. He gives it to Rachel. Rachel sings out the blessing and she lights one candle for the first night of Hanukkah. Then everyone says amen. Now tell us the story, says Grandpa. Tell it the same way you do everything. Grandpa looked at the light of the old menorah. He says, I remember when I was a boy, I would sing out the blessing and light the first candle. Then my grandpa would tell me how Hanukkah began. Okay, mine
We're going to take turns. This is a picture that's showing the temple. The family grows quiet. They sit close and listen as Grandpa tells the story he'd been told long ago. More than 2,000 years ago, Jews lived in the Promised Land. They had a great temple lit by a great lamp. Then a foreign king came with an army of soldiers. They tried to make everyone pray to their gods. They put pigs in our temple. They raised up stone idols. They pulled down our lamp and they put out its lights. Okay, I'm gonna hold up the next, okay? So this is a picture of the characters of how they got back the temple and the menorah.
Sophia, remember to use a loud voice so we can hear you clearly.
I know.
Yeah, you can be even louder than you were.
Mhm. One family fought back. They were called
Maccabees.
Maccabees. And the Maccabees showed our people how to fight to be free. And our people kept fighting year after year till finally they defeated that king and his army. And they cleared out the pigs. They threw out the idols. What is idol?
Statues. They're statues.
Yeah.
And they cleaned the great temple and lit the great lamp for everyone to see. But there was only enough oil in the lamp for one day. It would take 8 whole days for more oil to be made. Our people cried out, "The light will not last. The temple will soon become dark once again." Since you're gone, I'll leave them.
That's okay. How about Sarah sits on my lap, and then I'll, for this page, okay, and then I'll get her. Okay, so.
I want to read that page because it's so important.
Okay, well here, I'm gonna set.
La.
I'm gonna set that the first step,
It's so important.
so I can hold up the page and show this picture of houses with their windows lit up. And it's nighttime, you can tell from the moon.
Thank you.
Okay, talk loud.
Then a miracle happened. A blessing came. The light of the lamp burned for 8 days without dark. And in those 8 days, more oil was made. So the lamp was kept burning. Its light was not lost. Now each Jewish home has its own special lamp for the 8 nights of Hanukkah. We bless it and we light it where everyone can see it to remember that time long ago. Since May is not around, I'll hold up the picture. I'll try to get it close up here. Oh, take it away, Mom.
Okay, so here's a picture of the grandfather and the 2 kids, and they're looking at the menorah lit on the first night of Hanukkah. You can sit up straight. You can see the face. Grandpa's eyes shine in the light of the candles. He kisses Rachel and Jacob, and he quietly says, "That's the story you asked for, and that's the story you got. I told it the same way my grandpa told me." Rachel asks Grandpa, "After the story, did you eat potato pancakes? Did you spin wooden tops and get Hanukkah money? Did you sing songs?" asks Jacob. "Did you stay up really late?" And here, wait, I'm just going to pull up the picture. Okay? This is a picture of houses and the same one, but the windows are not lit. They're dark. So we'll find out why.
Of course, Francis, just like you do today. We ate potato boxes covered with applesauce. We played with our Dreidels. We got home. We sang and told jokes till we were so tired that our mama and papa had to carry us to bed. What about the manure? Jacob asked him. Did you put it in the window so everyone could see it? No, Grandpa answered in the voice of deep sadness. We did not dare show it because we were afraid.
Let me just hold, how about I hold up the page so they can see, okay? So this is a picture of books, and I believe they're being burned. You're gonna read that one?
Grandpa looks at the light of the old menorah. Grandpa stands beside him, touching his hand. He says, I will tell you a story of our family. It began during Hanukkah when I was a boy. Once again, they are quiet. They sit close and Grandpa tells the story of his life long ago. More than 60 years ago, many Jews lived in Europe. Another man came with an army of soldiers. They destroyed many temples and schools and homes. They hurt many people, especially the Jews. I started a story and I'm
Okay, well, let me, can I just hold up the picture?
right. Sorry.
Okay,
I keep forgetting.
okay, so here is, it's a little hard to see in this light, but they're gathered around and they're celebrating Hanukkah, but everything is dark and the curtains are drawn.
When Hanukkah came, we were afraid to put our menorah. I always try
I
to
know.
say Hanukkah. Afraid to put our menorah in the window. Afraid to bless it and light. Afraid someone would see it and say we were Jews. So we kept our light hidden, our curtains drawn shut. As soon as we could, our family fled Europe. We had to leave everything, even our menorah. Years later, many nations gathered together. They formed a great army to set everyone free. But then I had grown up and I joined as a soldier. I tried to be brave like the old Maccabees. I fought and kept fighting year after year till finally we defeated that man and his army, and all people of all nations had peace once again. I didn't forget that.
Oops. And now this is a picture of ruins, and it's a little hard to see, but there's something sticking up from the rubble on the ground.
I returned to the town where my family had lived. I walked through the streets. They were silent and empty. I came to our house. It was broken and burnt. I looked everywhere, but I saw only ruins. I broke down and cried over all that was lost. Broke down.
Just was very upset.
Then my miracle. Then my miracle. A blessing came. The wind flew the ashes that lay at my feet. I looked and I saw a little silver nest. It was freed from the ruins. It was shining in the sun.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the picture. So here is him as a soldier, and he's holding up the menorah.
I uncovered more nests. They were held up by branches. I uncovered the branches. They were held by a trunk. I uncovered the trunk. It was guarded by a lion that stood at the roots. I rose up and I shouted, "Our menorah!" Now every year since then, on the first night of Hanukkah, I clean it, I polish it, and I put it in the window for everyone to see because I am no longer afraid.
And here is Rachel and her grandfather looking at the candles. Is it okay if I read this page?
Yeah, it's not stormy.
Okay. Grandma says, I turn off the lights all through the house. Jacob lights the Shamus candle. He gives it to Rachel. Rachel sings out the blessings and she lights one candle for the first night of Hanukkah. Then everyone says, Amen. Rachel says to Grandpa,
Amen.
when I grow up and have children, I will tell them these stories the way you have told me, the story of our people and the story of our family as we gather by the Hanukkah light. That's the end.
Notes.
Yeah, we don't need to read that. That's just the
Now let's light the candle.
So is there, Mom, is there anything you wanted to add?
I think that's a really good story. And I know I had a very good friend whose parents escaped from World War II, the Holocaust. And even when they came to America and they were living safely in New York City, they were still afraid to light their menorah. Because sometimes these things, when they happen to us, it's very hard to realize that we're safe and that we don't have to be afraid anymore. But we do have to be on our guard and help each other. And I think that's what we're doing by keeping traditions alive and exploring many traditions and honoring all of them and celebrating all of them in our way.
You have questions, Sophie?
No, I was just saying, this is a traditional menorah.
Yes.
And this is a modern menorah that was made by Grandma Deb, made out of ceramic.
And that's just a plastic one.
And it has nests, it has birds. The shamus is usually higher than the other candles. It has a special place. And it's higher than the other ones, right? And in the middle of Sophia's, inside of that is a nest with eggs. And I did that as a symbol of hope. And to me, Hanukkah is about hope. The meaning of Hanukkah to me is that sometimes things really do work out, even in our darkest hour, when we think there's no hope, nothing is going to return to normal or be better. Hanukkah is about that miracle that things do sometimes work out for us.
And one other thing is, what's the words that we sing when we light the candles? What is the meaning of them, the English translation? Or
right. Okay. So we'll sing them, and I'll sing them in Hebrew. There are three blessings that are traditionally sung on the first night of Hanukkah. My family being rather assimilated in a lot of ways, we did two blessings, and that was my parents and me. And then when I raised my kids, we did one. The second blessing is called a Shechianu. And this is just something I love about our traditions, is that whenever you eat a new fruit of the year, like if you taste your first grapes, or you have your first oranges like we just did, or you see the first spring bird that you haven't seen because they haven't migrated back and now they're here, you say a Shechianu, and it's kind of a recognition. So this is the second one. It's praised are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life and sustained us and enabled us to reach this season to enjoy. And then you would say this pear, or this bird. But the main blessing that we say every night is, praised are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who made us holy through your commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkah lights. And there's a tune that it's pretty cool that I spent a season in Sweden. This was many years ago, when I was an exchange student, and I was at a little synagogue in the middle of nowhere in Sweden, and they were singing the same tune that I had learned just as a kid growing up in New York. So I just love how music, can just, even in the diaspora, it's changed just a little bit. The words might be changed a little bit, but it's still there and it still binds us together. So should we light the candles?
Yes, we shall. I finally was
Okay, and I don't mess around.
I'm going to grab, we have several menorahs. I'll just show you this one. I won't light all of them. Well, maybe I will. This one was my brother's. It's a tiny one, and it just has little birthday candles in it. And my brother got this, but I took it. I finally got back at him. And this menorah came all the way from Austria. This belonged to my grandfather, and it has those lions on it, and it has the temple menorah, which is what Halcyon has, that burns in the synagogue when it's not Hanukkah, but it's a symbol anyway. Okay, so we will light our shamas. I'm a little worried about my Hanukkah scarf, so I'm going to take it off. Just
Okay, good.
Just put,
Okay,
this is the shamas, this is.
Okay,
Just put it in
so
the-
I'm gonna remind you, what we do is we light the shamas first.
You tell her this is the shamas, but I need you
you
to.
want to light one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right, we're gonna melt it. First. That's right. Okay, move your hands back.
I'm going to give you this. And you can light. And I'm going to light my shamas here.
It didn't really work. Let's try again.
Why?
Well, these candles are just a little fat at the bottom for what we're trying to do. Come on, stay in there. Wait, take your finger on that. It'll stay. Okay. And then I guess I should decide
I
which
want
direction.
to
Wait.
do it.
Well, wait, I'm gonna melt mine in.
I see how you do it. You don't need to explain.
And we go from right to left because that's how Hebrew is read. Hebrew is read from right to left. Okay, I'll sing and you sing along. If you know the words.
I'll turn it so that I won't.
Okay, hold your candle a little closer to the bottom. With your hand, okay?
All right. Yeah, because I don't want my hands
Okay.
burnt.
And you see what you have to do with that. You have to do both things at the same time. You have to press one and pull.
Oh, I thought you just had to. All
No,
right.
it's a safety thing. They don't want you to just turn on by mistake. See how to do it? No?
It just won't work.
Okay. What you do is you push down on this
I
and then
did.
pull on this. Would you like me to do it?
I just no.
You want to try to do it? Okay.
Oh, I did it at the same time.
Our candles are burning down here.
No.
It's not doing
Okay,
it.
how about I do it?
No.
Let's let mom do it, Sophia.
Just for tonight, on the future nights, I'll show you in advance how to do it so that you can make it work.
No, just show.
No, because they're waiting for us, okay? So
show
sometimes-
me.
not right now. Sometimes you have to take instructions.
Are you ready to sing the song?
Okay, so let's everybody say we're gonna light the one candle. Okay, and then melt our shamas. You ready? Okay.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. And the second blessing is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'higianu v'kimanu lazman hazeh. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Do we get
What?
presents or do we get clothes? Which is boring. Or
Yeah.
I know we don't get to blow them out.
So on Hanukkah, it isn't like Christmas. We just do a few gifts. Some people do tradition where they give a small gift to a child each night, but usually it's about eating potato latkes, remembering the story, lighting the candles, playing dreidel, maybe getting a little Hanukkah gelt, which is a little money, or chocolate.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
in the story, And in the menorah that you made for Sophia, there are nests and there are birds. Is that a traditional symbol of
So,
the
you know,
menorah?
Halcyon, it's so interesting that you said that, because when May sent me the book and I read about the menorah that had the nests and the birds, that's the first time I'd heard that.
Oh, okay.
So I came up with that because of hope, and birds, the peace birds, you know, doves mean hope to me, and the nests for the future. So I like that the story that you sent and what I made match.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any questions? This is
Did
an
you talk, I'm
opportunity.
really sorry for, I got totally screwed up with my time, but did you talk about the symbols on the dreidel?
Yeah, a little bit about that, the symbols on the
Oh, I don't
dreidel,
think you
that
mentioned it.
I talked about that it means there was a great miracle happened there, or a great miracle happened here if you happen to be in Israel.
Mhm. Right, right.
And we play with peanuts or pennies. It's a little bit of a gambling game, but not much, not high stakes.
Mhm.
I will say that at Cookies with Santa, for the past 15 years, we play dreidel, and it is one of the most favorite things. It's like, where's the dreidel? Where's the pennies? I have these 2 huge bags full of pennies.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Mhm.
Thanks for having me on. It's been really a pleasure to meet you. Some of your faces I remember because
Mhm.
when I visited May, we go to church on Sunday.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I want to let everybody know we will be doing this each night at 5 o'clock, which is around sundown. We won't be reading the book and everything. Each night from this point on would just be the very simple lighting the next candle, singing the prayer, wishing everybody happy Hanukkah, and then going on with our evening.
Sounds great.
Add that we're kind of devolving into chaos here, but on a future night, I'd love to hear anyone else who's on,
There.
who also celebrates Hanukkah, who wants to talk about the traditions or anything. I feel like we're adding a little too much on now to try to add. I'd love to hear that too. Yeah. Oh, and this is Sarah's little LED
I turn
menorah.
on, I
Yeah,
turn on
okay.
the shamus and Sarah turns on one candle because she pressed
Sophia, what does shamus mean?
I don't know.
It means helper. It's a helper.
Mhm.
no.
I didn't
Now
know.
you
that
know,
either.
it's the helper.
I don't know. Right? Yeah.
But
Really
maybe-
cool. I like the idea that the helper is the most important candle.
Yes, it is.
I like that. That's cool.
Mhm.
Oh, you're going to do that.
All right. Shalom, everyone. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy, and thank you.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Happy
Very
Hanukkah.
nice.
Bye.
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 Okay, I'm gonna do this leave.